How's it going, everybody? My name is Alex Rosales, and this is my current issues presentations on where the standings are of professional all-star games are at. In this slideshow, I'm going to be discussing what these issues actually are. Above in the four pictures from left to right, we have the MLB All-Star Game, the NFL Pro Bowl, the Four Nations Face-Off in hockey, and the NBA All-Star Games. Overall, in these four major sports, only one has kept fans engaged. The answer will be revealed later on. Management is absolutely 100% to blame. They are the ones that give the okay, and they are the ones that allow these continuous all-star blunders to continuously reveal itself to the public and put a terrible product out there for the public to see. I do have resolutions at the end following as I make my way through all of these slides. As it says below here, I have them in order from worst all-star game to best all-star game, which the next slide revealing itself as, in my opinion, which all-star game is the worst. Starting us off with the worst of the worst is the NFL Pro Bowl. Me personally, as I said, it is opinionated. I do have hard facts to state why I do believe this. However, I formulated my own opinion off of the facts, as well as I know that a lot of people out there wouldn't be very much in disagreement with me on this take. It's easily, in my opinion, the NFL Pro Bowl. Nowadays, it has turned to flag football with shorter fields. As you can see in the picture in the background, you have Justin Jefferson getting his flag pulled by Derwin James, a receiver for the Vikings, and a safety for the Los Angeles Chargers. What has football come to? Are you kidding me? They have a player pulling a flag from another professional football player. What are we doing? I get it. They're trying to maintain the safety. I understand that. But this is something of a whole other rarity. The majority of the positions aren't even involved. They got these separate other games for these punters and these kickers and long snappers, centers, offensive linemen. They have no purpose in these games. The location of the event doesn't even provide any more excitement anymore. Nowadays, it's in Orlando at Camping World Arena, or Field, my bad. The best of the best were back in the days where they had the Aloha Stadium back in Hawaii. In this picture above, you have the greats, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, where they got the shoulder pads on. They went out there to compete. Obviously, you can see this is the AFC picture. This was when Drew Brees was with the San Diego Chargers at the time. Who would have known how legendary this picture would be nowadays? But in the moment, this is one for the making. As I said, Aloha Stadium with the guys wearing the leis is... you can't beat that. The players are opting out. So at the end of the day and the end of the season, you're getting like the fifth and sixth best quarterback from each conference. Because at the end of the day, the guys that are voted in are opting out to play because they even know how stupid it is. At the end of the day, if the players don't even want to play, what makes you think from a spectator's view that we even want to watch? To go out there and watch them play flag football on a 30-yard field. With that being said, even with them playing flag football, they still put minimal effort into it. Not even what it was a few years ago. The viewership is down compared to the 2010s and to the early 2000s. It's usually averaged about 13.4 million viewers, and now it's half of that in the 2020s. That is not good. I will say, I got to shine some light into it. I do look forward to watching the dodgeball every year. That is very fun. But that thing only lasts about 5 minutes of the entirety of the entire event. What I will say is, for those that do follow the game of football, this picture right here is where Sean Taylor absolutely laid out the punter for the Buffalo Bills. I think his last name is Mormon, if I'm not mistaken. For those that did not know the clip, I recommend going to see it. That is the beauty of football. That is what the people came out to see. We've gone so far away from that, and we have lost so many viewers because of how soft the NFL has gone into their new All-Star Game format. If they go back to it, we can absolutely see those numbers rise into the double-digit millions once again and return the All-Star Game to its once beloved glory. Next up, we have a step better than the NFL Pro Bowl game. We have the NBA All-Star game. Nowadays, it is basically just a dunk contest 2.0 and a shoot-around. There is no defense played and leads to lackluster effort and free shots. As you can see in the picture all the way to the left, maybe the guard is locking up the guy with the ball right now. But if you could see the rest of the defense, everybody's just standing around with their hands on their hips. What are we watching? That's not what I come out to see. I came out to watch and turn on the TV to see the best of the best players on the planet to go at it and freaking compete. To the right, we have Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. They put together some of the best battles on a basketball court you will ever see. They don't care that it was a game for nothing. In their minds, it wasn't for nothing. They came out sweating every single minute of every single game that they competed in, the multiple All-Star games that they've played in, going at it with the greats as LeBron James, Allen Iverson. Those guys would go after it every single time they had the opportunity to take the court in an All-Star game. It was more than just a game to them. Nowadays, as you can see in the middle picture, we got LeBron James going in for a dunk, and all the other defenders of the other team just standing there watching him. Going back at that point, it is absolutely a dunk contest 2.0 and shoot around. They have the dunk contest the night before, and even the events that come with it have been less entertaining. I think the last really good dunk contest we've had was a 2016 dunk contest between Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon. That right there was a beauty. Since then, it's just these guys that they're trying to find. They're trying to find four guys that could even dunk a ball now, because even the best of the best, Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon, are opting out of even attending these dunk contests. So even the events that come with it have been really not that much entertaining, in my opinion. Another thing, the legendary games back in the day were East versus West, not this guy and this guy drafting a team. And on top of that, they're drafting guys that, if I'm being honest, aren't really the best of the best in the NBA, somewhat of the same issue that the NFL presented. The viewership, as you can see, it's the same way, double in the 2000 and 2010s as it is nowadays. This past year where they had these four teams, I'd say it's a step in the right direction. I'd say that they had a little bit more effort in the defense and a little bit effort of the team trying to reach the max score amount. I do like that. They have their own twists of things that I do enjoy about it. However, overall, the product on the court just hasn't been the best, and therefore it leads to my first bullet point of it being a dunk contest and a shoot-around. That's all there is to it. If you want me and the other people of this world to increase their viewership amount, they got to have more defense that keeps everybody honest, and it could potentially bring back these battles we saw back in the early 2000s and 2010s. Next up is the MLB All-Star Game. I'm going to be honest about this one. I am a bit on the fence, as this is towards the better end. It's on the better half. There's only 4 major sports, and I got this one ranked third, second best, in my opinion. As I said, it isn't bad, but it could see improvements. What I will say is that the competitive nature is there. However, the players are not 100% bought in, because at the end of the day, it could be used as publicity. It could definitely be used as a moment to hang out with your buddies that you don't really get to have the chance to do during the season because you're with your current team. I understand that. That's what's all about an all-star game. However, the competitive nature is what got you there. What's one more game going to do? If anything, even though these guys are millionaires and these guys have a lot of money, they win a truck if you win an MVP. You could sell that, give it to charity, do whatever you want. It also brings in a good nature to the game of baseball, as you are selected to be the best of the best. Now you get selected as MVP of the best of the best. I think that's a reward within itself. The viewership has dipped, not as much as the other two leagues. It has dipped though. However, because of the slight drawback on the lackluster effort, not much, but it is still there. What I will say, my biggest pet peeve in this situation, as I do believe it does create issues. Even the managers and the players sometimes have voiced their opinions on ESPN and other local broadcast channels. The in-game interviews just have to go. It keeps the guys not locked in, and sometimes a little lack of focus is another way to put it. I've seen so many errors being made, and a lot of guys so focused on answering the reporter's question that they're getting taken away from the task at hand is to compete in the game of what these people are being paid to do. So, my opinion, it's not the worst, not the best. It's one that I will tune into along with other people in the world. However, there's some little icks here and there that need to be fixed if it's going to get back to the game that we see up here with Mark McGwire, Ken Griffey, compared to what we see down here. Bring back the old uniforms, the team uniforms that each team wears. I think that was so much better. It is an issue, just like management has. Finally is the NHL Four Nations Face-Off. This right here is a work of art. This is the best of the best. It has the competitive drive, the urge to fight for your country, and in other words, putting a full-on warfare on the ice. You can't make it better than that. In this picture, this is from the 2025, back in the early months of this year, with America and Canada going at it. Puck didn't even drop yet, and these guys are going right after it. What else could you make better and make out of this other than the beauty that this game has brought? Average viewership across the 2020s All-Star games, 1.6 million. Oh, but when you see 2025, 16.1 million views. That is not a typo. 16.1. Everything that the front office did in NHL to make this happen, it's not just between Canada and America. They also had Sweden, and they also had another European team that was also in the mix of this four-nation face-off. It was beautiful. It was absolutely flawless, in my opinion. Even with America losing in the overtime period of the championship game, they gave Canada a fight for the money. For a person that's not even really truly invested into hockey, I tuned in for every single game that America has played. Because as me and as so many other people, baseball is my true passion. It's my true sport. However, football is what I like to watch the most. And with that being the worst all-star game, it's a very big disappointment. To turn to this and see this, it was something truly special to witness. And I'm looking forward to it again next year. This right here was a way to put their own twist on the WBC, the World Baseball Classic, which they do every 4 years. It's kind of like the Olympics. The same thing for the Olympics in basketball. This was their own twist, but if they could do this every year, oh my gosh, we don't even have to wait for the Olympics to come back for this. Other than that, for those that even watch sports, I feel like y'all can agree with me on this point. It was definitely one of the most invested sporting experiences that I've ever watched in my life. In conclusion, got a little bit of resolutions that I'd like to offer. The issues absolutely stem from the management high up, as they elect to continuously put out a poor product. As I had mentioned that earlier in one of my first slides. At the end of the day, they're the ones giving the green light. They're the ones giving the thumbs up. And they still see how negative of an impact it's leaving. At the end of the day, something's got to change, and I feel like it stems from them. Could one thing provide, depending on the time of year played, whether it's before the season, after the season, in the middle season, whether they're at like an all-star break, which is usually sometimes in the middle of the season, could, depending on what time of year, bring the best out of these players and the urge to want to compete in these games. These are the best of the best, and they still sometimes have lacked the competitive nature to bring out the best of the best that we voted them there for. Because these are all fan base voted to get them into the All-Star game, yet they bring out lackluster effort. Inexcusable, in my opinion. You could probably provide incentives to winning teams, whether it's monetary value or new car, new truck, new something that they would want. You got to find that out. That means you have to dig deeper and feel around the clubhouse in these guys of what they could truly want to kind of dangle a carrot over their head of the team that wins. That can boost their effort, boost their confidence, boost the ratings back to what they were in the early 2010s and 2000s. Another thing, a winning team gets home field advantage in the best of 7 series. Other than the NFL, there is no home field advantage. It's at a neutral site. The other thing, it's a best of 1 game. The other series, such as NHL, MLB, NBA, those have home field advantage for the teams that do make it to the NBA Finals, the World Series, or the Stanley Cup Final. All of those have a best of 7, and they do get to play in their home stadium. The winning team of the All-Star game If you feel like you're a team in the mix of potentially reaching that, you work your butt off to have the chance to be able to have that Game 7 at home opportunity if it comes to it. MLB actually did this a few years back. They should definitely bring it back because of the fact that that's another way to get these players to come out and compete in these All-Star games. This is a start to definitely bump this competitive nature up. However, you cannot eliminate the factor of human error overall. You can dangle the carrot over them all you want. However, at the end of the day, it's got to come from them. We could do all we can, and it still might not even work. However, it would be worth a shot to get back these All-Star games and bring back the true beauty of what they were intended to be. Other than that, that's my take on the All-Star games and their issues that they come with and how we can, as a community, probably push these guys to be better because of the fact that we've put them in the spotlight. Overall, I feel like we can get a lot better out of them. I know it's possible. I've seen it happen. And going forward, let's hope for the best. Thank you guys for listening on my little TED Talk. Good luck on y'all's finals, and I look forward to watching y'all's videos as well.